the whole point about Islam is that it doesn't recognize a distinction between mosque and state, the way Christianity recognizes a distinction between church and state. Islam is both a religion and a political philosophy. And that political philosophy is not compatible with democracy any more than Sharia law's version of the relation between the sexes is compatible with the modern institutions and norms of the West. That's the problem. And so it makes it hard, indeed it makes it very difficult indeed, for assimilation to be as successful with a large-scale influx of Muslims as it was with the large influx of Jews that happened over 100 years ago when there was a great migration out of Eastern Europe, out of what was called the Pale of Settlement in the Russian Empire, to Western Europe and North America and elsewhere. So I think that very important philosophical distinction is real, but I still think it's possible to be a believing, devout Muslim and to respect the norms of a Western democracy if that's where you've chosen to live. And I see plenty of people who are able to do that in the United Kingdom and in the United States. And those people, law-abiding, hard-working, and loyal to the country where they live, want nothing to do with the thugs and the fanatical preachers who are constantly trying to disrupt their communities.
So we need to do our best to support them, because this must be a challenging time for them, as it is for Israelis. You and I would both have Jewish friends who are shaken to the core.
Absolutely.
As with a lady just over here in London. I had no idea she was Jewish, and she told me she was and started to cry.
Now, my first thoughts are with my Israeli friends who are currently fighting for the lives of their fellow citizens, for their families, for their state. But I feel a great deal of sympathy for my Jewish friends around the world who feel that the nightmare has come back.
Yeah.
A nightmare in which anti-Semitism ceases to be the despised ideology of a defeated fascism, but is reborn in a new guise, in a strange new guise, in which it's supported simultaneously by Islamists and radical leftists, that unholy alliance we talked about before. This must be a nightmare for any Jewish family. And I feel strongly, as somebody who's studied Jewish history for much of his career. I've studied the Holocaust. I wrote a book on World War II, The War of the World. I feel an intense sense of sympathy and loyalty to the Jewish people, because we must never, ever allow something like the Holocaust to happen again. And we must recognize that what is being implied by chants such as "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" is a second Holocaust.
Yeah.
The wiping of Israel from the map, which is the stated purpose of Hamas, the stated purpose of the Islamic Republic of Iran, implies a second Holocaust. And we saw in the atrocities of October the 7th what that Holocaust would be like. We, who are not Jews, who are Christians, have a profound moral obligation. The German Foreign Minister, Herr Habeck, said this very eloquently just this week. We have an obligation, and it's not just true for Germans, it's true for all of us, yes, to ensure that that can never happen again. And that's why our first duty, in my view, is to ensure that the proponents of the second Holocaust are crushed, are defeated, and as defeated as the Nazis were in 1945.